It's my wife's book. That's the beautiful pink ribbon. You guys like that? It's called Say Yes to God. It's by Kay Warren. And I have to be honest, I read a lot. I read an awful lot. And there's a lot of stuff that I read that's good reads. It informs me. There's not a lot of stuff that stirs me, that really shakes my inner core. And this is one of those books that I've only made it through the first chapter because my wife's reading it right now. And the first chapter alone made me say, I'm gonna put this book down. There's another book right now that I'm almost through that has done that. I've given it to a lot of people in this room to read. But I want to just read you an excerpt out of this book. If you're trying to figure out what God has for you in your life, I would really encourage you to pick up a book like this. If you feel maybe stagnant in the dreams and the futures, really pick up this book. It's a good book. But here's a little quote out of her book. She says, "It's very easy for us to remain aloof and untouched by the suffering that defines the existence of the vast majority of people on the planet. I have read that if you have food in your refrigerator, clothes on your back, a roof over your head, and a place to sleep, you are richer than 75% of this world. If you have any money in the bank and some in your wallet and some spare change in the dish somewhere, you are among the top 8% of the world's wealthy. 92% have less to live on than you do." Just think about that for a second. 8% of the world just has a little bit of change in their pocket. Man, sometimes I don't know about you, but I can get a little focused and don't think it's enough. 92% has less to live on than you do. If you have never experienced the danger of battle, the loneliness of imprisonment, the agony of torture, or the pains of starvation, you are ahead of 50 million other people in the world. If you can attend worship service at church without the fear of harassment, arrest, torture, or death, you are more blessed than over 3 billion people in the world. I don't tell you this to make you feel guilty, but I do hope you feel uncomfortable. I hope these statistics disturb you. God has in His sovereignty decided where you would have been born and allowed you to live in a place that almost everything anyone could desire. So there is no guilt that He has ordered our lives in such a way. The only guilt we bear is the guilt of ignoring the men, women, and children of this world who do not have what we have. The guilt of spending the majority of our time, money, and resources exclusively on ourselves and our family. That is legitimate guilt. Now let me just say, as she said in here, God ordained you to be alive when you're alive in the place you're at. And you don't have to feel guilty for that. God has you where He has you for a reason and for a purpose. You may not know that right now, but He does. You weren't born on accident. You weren't born by chance. It doesn't matter what your parents told you. You're not an accident. God knew you were coming. He wasn't surprised with your birth. But at the same time, we do need to be disturbed. You know, they say that if you took every person in this world that doesn't know Jesus Christ, and you started them right here, and we lined them up belly to back, just like this, one person, belly to back. Did you know that if we started that line, we would go all the way up to the Atlantic Ocean, we'd go across the Atlantic Ocean, we'd go through Africa, India, China, Russia, all the way back around until the person that is in the front of the line shakes hand with the person that connects to them. And not only can we do it once, but statistics tell us we could do that 37 times. So think of 37 people deep. That would be shoulder to shoulder, about the width of this, that encompasses the world with every circle of people that don't know Jesus Christ. That's a hefty amount of people. It's our job to be disturbed, not to feel guilty. When you give out a bit guilt, that doesn't do anybody good. The Bible says it's better for obedience than sacrifice. What's that saying? That we don't go sell our car and walk everywhere because we know that this guy needs a car and we just feel bad and we're just going to sacrifice like they sacrifice. No, what we're supposed to be is obedient to God.